Yo, welcome back everyone, it's time to go balls deep. We finally come to an end with Demon Slayer, as now we are at the second to last chapter of the manga, and I have a lot to say. So please stick around till the end of the video where I break down a lot of the plot points which wasn't addressed, along with answering some important questions. But guys, if you want a discussion, then join our Discord, and if you feel like we're missing a lot of points, it can be addressed over there. Now, right off the bat, we start with a little bit of a time skip. It's been 3 months since the defeat of Muzan, and things are starting to settle down now. In the Butterfly Estate, our OG squad are lying in bed as Tanjiro is looking off pleasantly surprised and happy into the distance. We then get an interaction between the Kanao siblings as Nezuko points out to Tanjiro that he can't even clench his fist and it's all shriveled up like an old man. Now, even though Tanjiro can't feel anything below his elbows, he's still content with just being able to move it up and down. You know, that's all the motion he really needs.
Yeah, boy.
But seriously, that's not the only thing. It's not obvious, but Tanjiro has lost his sight in his right eye due to the tumor that grew over it. And because he lost it before his body was healed by Muzan's blood, it seemed that all that is left is the shape and not his vision. Which, to be honest, I found quite weird. Like, if the demon blood could heal his internal organs, including his nerves and shit, then why not his eyes? Nevertheless, it seems Tanjiro is not so concerned about himself and instead feels guilty and worries if his sister is actually alright. Then our good girl Nezuko responds by telling him she's totally fine, like, I'm still looking pretty and fly. But Tanjiro just can't let it go, as he's upset on all the damage he has done, which even left a scar on his sister, along with feeling sorry for all the pain he caused everyone else. But our homegirl Nezuko sets things straight by reasoning with him and tells him to be real for a second, as Muzan's dead. Everyone worked together and he is human now, so there's nothing to be worried about, and no one cares what Demon King Tanjiro did, let's be honest. Even Nezuko knows that was a plot convenience. Now Nezuko says that she's just glad that Tanjiro turned back into a human, but Tanjiro continues in his typical ways by saying that even he thought it was truly hopeless a couple of times, as according to what Yushiro told him, he had been very lucky due to the fact that they had Shinobu's medicine along with Tanjiro only biting Nezuko, because Nezuko had antibodies from being turned into a demon then back into a human, highlighting the idea that Muzan's demon blood and cells acted as a virus. Once her body was cured, she returned to a human self and gained immunity to Muzan's cell. We then see this actual conversation be played in a flashback between Yushiro and Tanjiro, and both agree he was lucky. Yushiro also hypes Tanjiro's demon form for the aptitude he showed as a demon was just incredible and far greater than Muzan's or even Nezuko's, as he was able to overcome the sun in an instant. But on the topic of Yushiro, it is clear that he is still a demon, from his Slayer eyes to the fact that Tanjiro tells him please don't die, as he's the only one who can remember Tomioka forever, reminding us that he is a demon and can live literally forever as long as he has a bit of blood going in his system. Now, I'm just wondering, it's been 3 months and they still haven't come up with another potion. Like, does this guy want to stay a demon for the rest of his life? This also raises questions that if Muzan died, did all the other demons die? And if that is true, is Yushiro only alive because he had no real connection with Muzan, as he was born from Tomoyo's blood and she had severed all ties to Muzan? We then move on to the Ubayashiki's kids' interaction with the remaining 2 pillars, Sanemi and Giyuu. All the other pillars are dead. The boss boy even elaborates, saying a lot of the other children died as well, but in all their efforts they had finally destroyed the demons. Their mission has been completed, so from henceforth the Demon Slayers will be disbanded. Together all 3 Ubayashiki siblings bow in gratitude, but our pillars in shock tells them to raise their head, and then they reciprocate their gratitude back at the Ubayashiki's family, including praising the boy Kiria for taking charge after his father's kamikaze attack. Like, the boy really did good. Hopefully now, because Muzan is dead, he is finally able to live a long healthy life. We also see that Inosuke is stealing food and gets scolded by one of the butterfly insect girls. Maybe there's a potential ship there, I don't know, but I do want him to get down with someone. Like, the boy cannot be lonely. Zenitsu x Nezuko must happen, and Kanao and Tanjiro, come on, that's a ship that needs to be sailed. And talking about this ship, Tanjiro approaches Kanao ready to make his move. He tells her how nice it is to see the sakura tree close up with his one eye. Kanao agrees and goes on to explain how this tree was planted by the first breath of the flower swordsman, and his name is Certain Victory, where the trees represented their goals for the Demon Slayers at that time. Kanao being super happy that that dream and goal has been fulfilled. But Tanjiro asks the real question here, confirming if his homegirl's eyes are okay, in which she slightly reassures him that she isn't completely blind and her wound is all better. To add to things, she tells him the wind pillar dropped by and she was given the snake who helped the snake pillar fight when he was blinded. So I guess Kanao won't be completely useless. Plus, Tanjiro doesn't have one eye, Kanao doesn't really have another eye, you know, they kinda make a good couple, Now this chapter pretty much ends with Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu and Inosuke going to the Kanao household, giving us a feeling that the group are going to be living there. This is actually poetic and highlights a full circle, as the story started in the Kanao household and ends in the Kanao household. Zenitsu even brings along his grandpa's ashes to possibly bury it in his new residence. But the most important panel is right at the end, where we see another time skip all the way to the modern era. There is one more chapter to go and it's going to be 24 pages. Will all the answers and plot inconvenience be addressed in that chapter? Maybe Yushiro will be alive and we will see the knowledge of the blue spider lily. Who knows, there might even be a sequel. But now I'm going to discuss all the plot devices that needs addressing with the finale of Demon Slayer. These are issues that the fandom wants answered, so I will try to address as much as I can. The biggest problem was the lackluster Muzan. We discussed this a few videos back, but the gripe that the community has with this ending is mostly concerning his character. You can let me know what problems you had with the ending in the comment section below and what you agree with, but be sure to be nice to each other and mature about it, because we don't want a toxic community. We should all be nice. But I'm going to be real honest here, and I hope you guys can appreciate what I'm about to say, because if I can't be honest with my analysis, then what's the point of me doing this, or why do you even care about what I have to say? The first problem I'm going to address is regarding the blue spider lily. This is because we were told the blue spider lily is a mythical flower said to look like a spider lily with blue colors instead of red. It has been described as an important ingredient of a medicine for Muzan's treatment by his doctor during the Heian period. This medicine was created by the doctor who treated Muzan's deadly disease, which should have supposedly killed him before he reached the age of 20. However, frustrated by the worsening condition of his illness, the doctor was killed by Muzan before the medicine took its effect. The medicine ultimately turned Muzan into a demon, and it was written that since he had become a demon, Muzan's sole objective was to conquer the sun, because that dude didn't want to live in the darkness all his life. Like, can you blame him? I wouldn't either, to be honest. So he wandered around years in hopes to find the understanding of the blue spider lily. At the same time, he was spreading his demon blood in hopes there would be a demon who would be immune to the effects of the sun. Hence why Muzan continued to create his demon army across the nation. It was actually quite selfish. Now here's where we get to the problem. Because his second option of creating a demon who is immune to the sun actualized basically the existence of Nezuko, the mention of the blue spider lily became obsolete, and the question of what it was or where it came from was never addressed. This is a poor writing style, and Gotake fails to use the fundamental writing device known as the Chekhov's gun, which is a dramatic principle that states that every element in a story must be necessary and irrelevant elements should be removed. Elements and story points should not appear to make false promises by never coming into play. Gotake continues to fail in using this dramatic principle throughout the ending of Demon Slayer, which ultimately dropped this potential masterpiece into a mediocre series. Another point was we learned due to Muzan creating a large amount of demons who went rampant in the nations, the Demon Slayer Corp had to be formed. This corps was created by the Ubayashiki's family. However, due to being related to Muzan's blood, they also ended up having to combat Muzan's curse, which actually forced the sense of responsibility and pushed them to take lead in the fight against him. But we are given no reason as to why this started or how this myth came about. The connection between their family, Muzan, and the curse wasn't explained thoroughly enough for us to buy it.
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
When it comes to the spiritual nature of the Demon Slayer world, it is apparent there is a supernatural force that governs everything. However, there is no detail nor explanation. We just have to believe that is something based on religion, since God, Buddha, or a supreme deity is constantly inferred in this series. The concept of heaven and hell also has been pushed as canon, an example being Demon Moon Rui. As he died, he was put together with his family when they reunited. There is other evidence like memories and spirits of the dead, but I digress. Regardless of the lack of explanation to how things happened, Muzan's lack of character was also a huge gripe that wasn't resolved.
I just don't like that character. I find him very boring whenever they cut back to him. Even before that, I was like, okay.
We all know that Muzan is a person with insecurities and weaknesses. He's a man that can't deal with his inadequacy. He self-projects these feelings onto other people and even the demons he created. For example, the time he scolded Akaza and called him a coward for running away from a demon slayer instead of killing them. However, he's a hypocrite, as the story comes full circle, since he ends up doing the same thing and becomes a literal baby that manifests during the sunrise to show the epitome of his fragility. On the inside, Muzan is just a scared little selfish man. But in the end, the manga doesn't do a good job at all in explaining why this man became so evil in the first place, who is content in committing atrocities like murder left, right, center. Because let's not forget, even before the blue spider lily medicine kicked in, Muzan killed his doctor out of rage. The dude had to come with his own arrogant conclusion that he is like a natural occurrence, just like an earthquake, tsunami, or volcano. But seriously, how is he as natural as these occurrences? If you were born out of a mystical flower, you have supernatural powers and crave blood, you are not natural at all. Muzan neglects the very idea of having consciousness and choices when he makes actions. A natural disaster doesn't have a mind, it just happens, is beyond reason, hence the term natural disaster. Whereas Muzan thinks he is above reasoning, which coincides with his ignorance and portrayal of being a baby at the end.
Little baby man, little baby man, little baby man.
However, in the conclusion, the reason given for Muzan being evil was just for the sake of being evil. Even the backstory we get of Muzan is him being declared dead as a baby, but somehow comes back alive and starts breathing again. It was shown he was born weak and fragile, but again, this doesn't mean anything to suggest a reason for him to be the epitome of evil. Like, bruh. That'll make no sense. And let's not talk about how Muzan's fight seems stretched and was a huge lackluster. He barely used any blood demon arts from the very beginning to destroy the demon slayers. This is supposed to be Muzan, the final boss. It took Muzan 3 hours to decide it's time to use his shockwave or black blood bramble blood demon art. Like, what the heck? This bit actually made me upset. Only after noticing the demon slayer mark he feared from Yorichi was manifesting between all of them, and some of the blades were turning red, and after feeling a sense of danger when his insides were seen with the see-through world, only then Muzan decides to go balls deep and do his killer move. But before that, what was he doing?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Muzan was filled with arrogance, and then later he was actually finding it tricky to defeat the demon slayers. But it again just goes to show how much development was missing from Muzan's character. We can try to explain this by suggesting Muzan's body was constantly weakened, first by Ubayashiki's kamikaze attack and then by the potion. So the explanation that would fix this plot is, guess what? The potion has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different effects on my guy to lose the fight.
Of course!
To be honest, I wouldn't even have a problem with this if I saw this as a basic shonen, but this lack of good writing by Gotake juxtaposed with her initial writing highlights how the ending was super rushed. It just doesn't make sense. That'll make no sense. Now moving on to another question that needs answering is why was the Kamado family special and had the ability to conquer the sun if they turned into a demon? This wasn't explained at all without a headcanon theory. We know that the Kamado family is not linked to Yorichi by blood. In fact, there wasn't even a strong link between Yorichi and Tanjiro. Yorichi just performed the breath of the sun once, and Tanjiro's ancestor Sumiyoshi managed to remember all of it with his crazy photographic memory. Somehow this came full circle to make Tanjiro the prophecy child. But the only real explanation of why the Kamados have a special bloodline that Muzan himself stated made Tanjiro become a demon king greater than himself was because of plot convenience.
Don't you dare finish that sentence.
Now, although I did make a theory in another video suggesting that due to the constant exposure to the breath of the sun, the Kamado's bloodline became very strong by possibly absorbing the sun's energy within themselves. This would explain Nezuko's blood demon art acting similar to the sun in how it burns any demon related things, also explaining how they conquered the sun. But now we have to assume this theory to be headcanon for it to make sense. None of this was confirmed or even elaborated on. And yeah, don't get me wrong that this stupid ass theory wasn't confirmed, and that's why fans may have this gripe. This is a serious logical question that we all have. Fam, I love it when manga subverts our expectations and blow our minds, but why didn't the author just write one sentence, just one sentence, that the Kamado family is special because they have been doing the breath of the sun ritual for 400 years or so to cause a change? The author could have easily explained it if they wanted to. Instead, Gotake said no! Now that I mentioned it, another problem the fanbase has is with the ending regarding Tanjiro. Yes, I'm talking about Demon King Tanjiro. It is blatantly obvious to the fans that the only reason this occurred was to revive Tanjiro and bring his arm and broken ass body back after he lost it against Muzan. This was supposed to be a major plot twist, making the fanbase believe that the protagonist has become the final villain that will have to say goodbye to everyone, making it bittersweet and pulling on our heartstrings. Instead, the final message of the show is fulfilled with a drastically breakneck speed that bonds and friendship is important to have during the downhill battles of life itself to bring you back up from despair. Well, I guess there is also the entertainment factor to this. But finally, the last problems fans have with this ending is Nezuko. Some fans are upset said that she was a demon and we were expecting her to help, but this girl was practically running for 5 hours straight to Tanjiro after she got the signal that he was in trouble and needed her. Some of us feel baited that she would actually do something due to the build-up, but in the end she became a plot device that friendship and bonds is everything, which is the message of the show, by the way, a good one at that. However, obviously left people disappointed because the same effect could have been achieved if she gradually changed while fighting. Like in the end, basically the author is saying everything happens for a reason, for the prophecy to be fulfilled, but you can still argue that some things happen for the sake of happening just for the plot to occur. Once again, this is another example where Gottage failed to use Chekhov's gun, as Nezuko's full demon transformation was revealed to us but later had no import. This is a false promise. So there you have it, guys. That's pretty much all the gripes fans have with this ending of Demon Slayer. Let me know in the comment section below what you liked or what you hated about this chapter.
Everything!
I mean, this could have all been built up for a continuation. There might be a plot twist in the next chapter that demons still exist, you know, Yushiro is alive after all, and we get a Shippuden type situation that would literally fix every single thing here, bro, and redeem it all. But with that, that's pretty much it, and I'll catch you guys till next time.